Every year, from 1830 to 1838, Cherokee Principal Chief John Ross visited Washington, attempting to forestall removal.
We have been made to drink of the bitter cup of humiliation, treated like dogs, our lives, our liberties the sport of the white man, our country and the graves of our fathers torn from us in cruel succession until we find ourselves fugitives, vagrants, and strangers in our own country. John Ross, Cherokee.
Ross wrote hundreds of letters. He met several times with President Jackson, with whom he had served in war. He petitioned Congress and brought 2 lawsuits before the U.S. Supreme Court.
We are not ignorant of our condition. We are not insensible to our sufferings. We feel them. We groan under their pressure. And anticipation crowds our breasts with sorrow yet to come. John Ross, Cherokee.
Ross did win one victory, when the Supreme Court ruled that the Cherokee were a sovereign nation and not subject to Georgia's jurisdiction. But President Jackson disregarded the ruling and belittled the power of the Supreme Court by challenging the Chief Justice to enforce the law himself. Georgia held lotteries for Cherokee lands. State troops forced people from their houses. Cherokee government buildings at New Echota were sold off, along with the residence of Principal Chief John Ross. Cherokee leader Major Ridge also lost his plantation. He now became convinced of the futility and peril of resistance.
I know the Indians have an older title than the United States. We obtained the land from the living God above. They got their title from the British. Yet they are strong, and we are weak.
Major Ridge, as I understand it, he advocated for a good period of time that no more Cherokee lands would be sold or ceded to under penalty of death. And then later, he wound up doing the same darn thing, as a matter of fact, worse.
Ridge traveled to Washington without the authorization of the Cherokee Council. There he met with federal officials. Ridge privately negotiated a treaty ceding Cherokee lands for $5 million, new land in the Oklahoma Indian Territory, and removal assistance.
We had been a country for 500 years before they were, and we were on an equal status. And every time we had a treaty from then on, we got a little less status and they got a little more land.
Ridge returned home to convince the National Council to accept the treaty terms.
I would willingly die to preserve the graves of our fathers. But any forcible effort to keep them will cost us our lands, our lives, and the lives of our children. There is but one path of safety, one road to future existence as a nation. That path is open before you. Make a treaty of cession. Give up these lands and go over beyond the great Father of Waters.
The National Council rejected the treaty. But Ridge, with no legal authority to represent the Cherokee Nation, met secretly with U.S. officials. Defying the Council's death sentence for the selling of Cherokee lands, Ridge, his son, and others signed the removal treaty. On May 17, 1836, the U.S. Senate ratified the treaty by a single vote. The Cherokee Nation was given 2 years to move west. In that time, Ridge and 2,000 Cherokee emigrated to Oklahoma, while the vast majority of the nation ignored the illegal treaty and remained on their lands. In late spring of 1838, as the deadline for removal passed, General Winfield Scott arrived in Georgia with 7,000 soldiers. His orders were to remove the Cherokee by any means necessary.
Think of this, my Cherokee brethren. I am an old warrior, and have been present at many a scene of slaughter. But spare me, I beseech you, the horror of witnessing the destruction of the Cherokees. Do not even wait for the close approach of the troops. General Winfield Scott.